Teresa Carlos made one mistake. One tiny, honest, well-intentioned mistake that would change her life forever. She scratched a $6 Miliion vintage Ferrari in a grocery store parking lot. Most people would have driven away. Most people would have pretended it never happened. Teresa left a note. "I'm so sorry about the scratch. Please call me so I can pay for the damage." Teresa. She thought the owner would be some rich businessman. Maybe upset. Maybe reasonable. She could set up a payment plan. Apologize properly. Fix her mistake. She was wrong about everything. The car belonged to Soo-Hoo Kang, Seoul's most feared Korean mafia boss. A man whose name made hardened criminals whisper prayers. A man who'd inherited his father's empire after a brutal assassination. A man surrounded by lies, betrayal, and violence. And Teresa's honest little note? It stunned him. Because in Soo-Hoo's world, no one admitted mistakes. No one took responsibility. No one was honest when they could escape consequences. But this shy elementary school teacher, who happened to be his little brother Min-jun's beloved teacher, had done exactly that. Her honesty would catch his attention. Her kindness would earn his protection. Her courage would save dozens of lives. But first, it would make her a target. Because when rival mafia boss Viktor Sokolov saw Teresa being escorted into Soo-Hoo's villa, he assumed she was an informant, an asset, someone valuable enough to kidnap, interrogate, or kill. One note, one act of integrity, one dangerous mistake that would pull Teresa into a world of assassinations, kidnapping attempts, and a forbidden love she never saw coming. Before we continue, if you want to know how a simple apology note turned an elementary school teacher into the target of a mafia war, how one scratch on a Ferrari led to the most dangerous protection she never asked for, and why a crime lord would risk everything for the woman honest enough to leave her number, smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, because this story will have you hooked. Teresa Carlos lived the quietest life possible. As a shy black woman teaching elementary school in Seoul, she'd learned to navigate the world carefully, avoid confrontation, stay polite, never cause trouble. She'd been teaching English at Hannam International Elementary for 3 years, and her students loved her gentle manner and genuine kindness. Her life was predictable, safe, boring, maybe, but peaceful. Until Tuesday night at 8:47 p.m. in a grocery store parking lot. Teresa was backing out of her space, distracted by a text from Hannah about their weekend plans. When she heard it, a sickening scrape of metal on metal. Her breath caught. She stopped immediately, heart hammering. No, 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 no. She put the car in park, hands shaking, and got out to assess the damage. The car she'd hit was extraordinary, sleek, vintage, deep blue paint that looked like liquid sapphire. Even in the dim parking lot lighting, Teresa could tell this wasn't just expensive, it was priceless. And she'd scraped a clear line across the driver's side door. "Oh my God," she whispered, hand over her mouth. She looked around. No one nearby. No witnesses. The owner was presumably inside shopping. She could leave. No one would know. No cameras pointed this direction. For exactly 3 seconds, Teresa considered it. Then she dug through her purse, found a grocery receipt and pen, and wrote with trembling hands, "I am so sorry about the scratch on your car. It was completely my fault. Please call me so I can pay for the damage and apologize properly. Again, I'm truly sorry. Teresa Carlos." She added her phone number, tucked the note under the windshield wiper, and drove home with her stomach in knots. 2 miles away, Soo-Hoo Kang was finishing a meeting that had gone badly. His father's old business partners were testing him, questioning his leadership, pushing boundaries, treating him like the young heir instead of the boss. At 35, Soo-Hoo had held power for 3 years since his father's assassination, but some men still saw him as the grieving son playing at being a kingpin. They would learn otherwise. "Is there anything else, sir?" Junho asked as they left the restaurant. "No. Take me home. I'm done with politics for tonight." They walked to where Siu-hoo's prized possession waited, a 1,962 Ferrari 250 GTO, one of only 36 ever made, worth over $6 million. His father had bought it at auction 2 months before his death. Siu-hoo had never driven it until after the funeral. Now it was his grief, his legacy, and his rebellion all in one perfect machine. As they approached, Siu-hoo noticed something tucked under the wiper. "What's that?" he asked. Jun-ho retrieved it. "A note, sir?" "What kind of note?" Jun-ho read it, expression shifting from suspicion to surprise. "An apology. Someone scratched the car. They left their number to pay for damages." Siu-hoo stopped walking. "They what?" "Left contact information for payment. Voluntarily." Siu-hoo took the note, read the shaky handwriting, saw the sincerity bleeding through every word. In his entire life in organized crime, no one had ever simply admitted a mistake and offered to fix it. "Run the number," he said quietly. "Sir? Find out who wrote this. Everything about them. You want me to track down someone who scratched your car? I want to meet someone honest enough to leave a note when they could have just driven away." Teresa spent 2 days jumping every time her phone rang, but the car owner didn't call. Maybe they hadn't seen the note yet. Maybe they were deciding whether to press charges. Maybe. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Teresa's stomach dropped. "Hello? Miss Carlos?" A male voice. Korean accent. Professional. Cold. "Yes? My name is Jun-ho. I work for Mr. Kang. You left a note on his vehicle 2 nights ago." "Oh God. Here it comes." "Yes, I'm so sorry about the damage. I was backing out and I didn't see I take full responsibility. If you could give me an estimate for repairs, I can set up a payment plan. Mr. Kang would like to discuss this in person." Teresa's blood ran cold. "In person? He appreciates your honesty and would like to meet you. Tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. A car will pick you up from your address." "Wait. How do you know my—" "Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Carlos." He hung up. Teresa stared at her phone, hands shaking. They knew where she lived. They were sending a car. This felt wrong, dangerous. She called Hana immediately. "Girl, do not go," Hana said after hearing the story. "This sounds like a setup. Rich guys with drivers and in-person meetings about car scratches? That's suspicious. But I damaged his car. I have to face this." "You face it through insurance, through lawyers. Not by getting in strange cars. I don't have insurance that covers 6-figure repairs." "6 figures? The car looked really expensive, Hana. I looked it up online. Similar models sell for millions." "Millions?" "Teresa, you scratched a multi-million-dollar car and left your name? Girl, you are the most honest idiot I've ever met. What do I do?" "Don't go alone. I'm coming with you." "They didn't invite you." "I'm inviting myself. You're not walking into a mysterious meeting without backup." The next evening, a black Mercedes sedan pulled up exactly at 6 p.m. Teresa and Hana exchanged nervous glances. "Last chance to run," Hana muttered. "I can't run from this." A man in a dark suit emerged, tall, professional, face that revealed nothing. "Miss Carlos?" "That's me. I'm Jun-ho. Mr. Kang is expecting you." "This is my friend Hana. She's coming with me." Jun-ho's expression didn't change. "Mr. Kang's invitation was for you alone." "Then I'm not going." They stared at each other for a long moment. "Wait in the car," Jun-ho said finally. "I'll confirm." He stepped away, made a call, returned. "Your friend may accompany you, but she waits in the car during your meeting." "That works," Hana said quickly. They got in the Mercedes. Teresa's heart hammered the entire drive. The house, no, the estate was in Hanam-dong, where Seoul's ultra-wealthy lived behind walls and security gates. "Girl," Hana whispered as they approached, "this is not successful businessman rich. This is criminal empire rich. You're not helping. I'm just saying normal people don't live like this." The car stopped in front of a modern glass villa that looked like architectural art. Guards were everywhere, discreet but unmistakable. Teresa's instinct screamed, "Run!" But she'd already made her choice when she left that note. Jun-ho opened her door. "Miss Carlos, follow me. Your friend waits here." "Teresa, Hana grabbed her hand. Be careful. I will. Teresa followed Junho through an entrance hall that probably cost more than her entire apartment building, down a corridor lined with art that looked museum quality, into an office that radiated power and money. And there, behind a massive desk, sat a man who made Teresa forget how to breathe. Suhu Kang was beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. Sharp features, dark eyes that missed nothing, expensive suit that couldn't hide the dangerous edge underneath. He looked young, mid-30s maybe, but carried himself with the authority of someone who'd commanded respect his entire adult life. He stood when she entered. Miss Carlos, thank you for coming. Teresa's voice came out squeaky. She cleared her throat. Of course. I'm really sorry about your car. Please. Sit. Teresa sat in the chair across from his desk, feeling like a student called to the principal's office. Siu-Hu studied her for a long moment. You're Min-jun's teacher. Wait. What? I'm sorry. My little brother, Min-jun Kang. 3rd grade. He talks about his English teacher, Miss Carlos, constantly. How kind you are. How you helped him with his reading. How you never get impatient when he's shy. Teresa's mind reeled. Sweet, quiet Min-jun, the boy who always volunteered to help clean up, who wrote her thank you notes for everything that was his brother. Min-jun is your brother? My half-brother. Same father, different mothers. I'm his guardian since our father passed. I'm so sorry for your loss. It was 3 years ago. Siu-Hu's expression revealed nothing. But thank you. An uncomfortable silence settled. About the car, Teresa started. The repair estimate is $85,000. Teresa's vision actually tunneled. I'm sorry. Did you say $85,000? Yes. Vintage parts are difficult to source. The paint is custom. The entire door panel needs replacement. Teresa couldn't breathe, couldn't think. $85,000 might as well be $85 million. She made $42,000 a year teaching. After rent, bills, student loans, I'll pay it, she heard herself say. It'll take time, but I'll pay every cent. Siu-Hu's eyebrows rose. You're offering to pay $85,000 for a mistake you could have easily hidden? It's my responsibility. I damaged your property. I should pay for repairs. Miss Carlos, I have your background. I know what teachers earn in Seoul. This would take you years to pay off. Then it takes years. I'm not running from this. Siu-Hu stood, walked to the window, was quiet for a long moment. Why did you leave the note? Because it was the right thing to do. Most people would have left. No witnesses. No cameras in that corner of the lot. You could have walked away. I could have. But I would have known. And I couldn't live with that. He turned to look at her, something shifting in his expression. You're honest. I try to be. In my world, Miss Carlos, honesty is so rare it's almost exotic. People lie when truth would serve them better. They cheat when playing fair would be easier. They betray when loyalty would profit them more. He walked back to his desk. And then you, a elementary school teacher, leave a note admitting fault when you owe me nothing and could face no consequences. I owed you the truth and the cost of repairs. The debt is forgiven. Teresa blinked. What? I'm not taking your money. Consider it payment for the kindness you've shown Min-jun. But the debt is forgiven. His tone made it clear this wasn't negotiable. However, I would like something else from you. Teresa's heart raced. What? Continue being Min-jun's teacher. Continue showing him that good people exist. That honesty and kindness matter. He's been through a lot since our father died. You make him feel safe. That's worth more than $85,000. Teresa felt tears prickling. Of course. I care about Min-jun. He's a wonderful student. Thank you. Siu-Hu pulled out a business card. This is my personal number. If Min-jun ever needs anything, or if you encounter any problems, call me directly. That's not necessary. It is. Junho will drive you home. Teresa stood, still processing. Mr. Kang, I don't understand. Why are you being so kind about this? He looked at her for a long moment. Because kindness is rare, and I'm learning not to waste it when I find it. Quick question for you. If a mysterious billionaire forgave your $85,000 debt and gave you his personal phone number, would you think it was generosity or the beginning of something dangerous? Comment below, and if you're already hooked, hit that subscribe button because Teresa's about to discover the price of that kindness. Teresa tried to return to normal life, but normal felt different now. Every time Min-jun smiled at her in class, she thought about his mysterious older brother. Every time she drove past that grocery store, she remembered the note that changed everything, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. It started small, a car that seemed to follow her home, the same man at the coffee shop 3 days in a row, shadows that moved when she looked away. "You're being paranoid," Hannah said when Teresa mentioned it. "That whole Mafia mansion thing freaked you out." "I never said Mafia. Girl, please." That house screamed organized crime. The guards, the vibe, that man runs something illegal. He's Min-jun's guardian. He can't be that bad. Keep telling yourself that. The third week after the meeting, Teresa stayed late at school grading papers. She left around 8 p.m., the parking lot nearly empty. As she walked to her car, a van pulled up behind her. Too fast. Too close. Teresa's instinct screamed. She fumbled for her keys. But the van doors opened, and 3 men emerged. Not Korean. Russian, maybe. Big. Professional. "Miss Carlos," one said with a heavy accent. "Come with us. Don't scream." Teresa did exactly what he told her not to. She screamed and ran. She made it maybe 10 steps before they grabbed her. Then gunshots. The men dropped her, drew weapons, returned fire toward the school entrance. Teresa hit the ground, covering her head, unable to process what was happening. More gunfire, shouting in Korean, then silence. Someone helped her up Junho, looking completely calm despite having just been in a firefight. "Are you hurt?" he asked. Who were? A black SUV screeched into the lot. Siu-hoo emerged before it fully stopped, face a mask of controlled fury. He crossed to Teresa in 3 strides, grabbed her shoulders, scanned her for injuries. "Did they touch you?" "I know, what is happening?" "They were trying to kidnap you." Junho's men stopped them. He turned to his security chief. "Casualties?" "2 dead. 1 wounded, he'll talk." "Our team is secure." Teresa's legs gave out. Siu-hoo caught her, held her steady. "Dead? People are dead because of me? People are dead because they tried to take what's mine." Siu-hoo's voice was ice and steel. "Junho, take her to the penthouse. Full security. I'll meet you there." "What about her friend, Hannah?" "Pick her up too. Now." Teresa sat in Siu-hoo's penthouse apartment, another glass palace overlooking Seoul, wrapped in a blanket and trying not to shatter. Hannah paced, equal parts terrified and furious. "I told you that man was dangerous. I told you. I didn't know. You scratched his car, Teresa. You left a note. And now Russian mobsters are trying to kidnap you. They're not after her because of the car." Both women turned. Siu-hoo had entered silently, still wearing his suit, now with blood spatter on the sleeve. "They're after her because of me." "Explain," Hannah demanded. "Right now, all of it." Siu-hoo poured himself whiskey. "My father ran one of Seoul's largest criminal organizations. Import, export that wasn't always legal, money movement that avoided banks, security services for people who couldn't go to the police. When he was assassinated 3 years ago, I inherited everything, including his enemies." "You're Mafia," Teresa whispered. "I prefer organized crime entrepreneur, but yes. And one of my father's rivals, a Russian named Viktor Sokolov, has been testing me since I took over. 2 weeks ago, his men saw you being escorted into my home. They assumed you were important to me. But I'm not, aren't you?" His eyes locked on hers. "You're Min-jun's teacher. The woman honest enough to leave a note. Someone I personally forgave a massive debt. In Victor's world, that means you're an asset. Something valuable. Something he can use against me. So he tried to kidnap me. Yes, to interrogate you about my operations, or to use you as leverage, or both." Teresa felt sick. "I need to go to the police." "The police can't protect you from Victor. Half of them are on someone's payroll anyway. You're safer here. This is insane. This is my world, Miss Carlos. and I'm very sorry you've been pulled into it. But now that you're a target, I can't let you leave unprotected. So I'm what? A prisoner? You're under my protection. There's a difference. I have a life, a job. I can't just hide in your penthouse. Then I'll assign security. Guards at your apartment, at your school, everywhere you go. That'll terrify my students. Better terrified than attending your funeral. The room went silent. Siuhu took a breath, forced calm. I'm sorry. That was harsh. But Miss Carlos Teresa Victor doesn't make empty threats. If he wants you, he will try again. Harder. Smarter. And I can't let that happen. Why do you even care? You don't know me. I know you're good to my brother. I know you're honest in a world full of liars. I know. He stopped. I know you don't deserve this. And I'm responsible for putting you in danger. So yes, I care. And yes, I will keep you safe, whether you like it or not. Teresa called out of work for 3 days. Director Kim was understanding when she explained there'd been an incident in the parking lot, and she needed time to recover. She didn't mention the kidnapping attempt, or the mafia, or the penthouse. Living with Suhu was surreal. The penthouse had guest rooms bigger than her entire apartment. Staff appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Guards stood at every exit. It was luxurious and suffocating in equal measure. Hannah had returned home reluctantly with her own security detail. "This is insane," she'd whispered before leaving. "But at least you're safe, I think." Suhu kept his distance. He was gone during the day, business she didn't ask about. At night, he worked in his office. They passed each other in hallways, exchanged polite nods, maintained careful space, until the 4th evening when Teresa couldn't sleep and found him on the balcony at 2 a.m. "Can't rest?" he asked without turning. "I keep seeing those men. Hearing gunshots. That's normal. First time experiencing violence never leaves you. Does it get easier? No. You just get better at pretending it does." Teresa joined him at the railing, looking out at Seoul's glittering skyline. "This is really your life? The violence? The danger? It's the life I inherited. The life I chose to continue instead of walking away. Why not walk away? Because 500 people depend on our organization for their livelihoods. Because walking away means letting my father's enemies carve up his legacy. Because..." He stopped. "Because I'm good at it. Even if it makes me a monster." "You're not a monster. Monsters don't forgive $85,000 debts. I forgave a debt. I've also ordered executions. Both things can be true." Teresa should have been horrified. Instead, she just felt sad. "Minjun doesn't know, does he? What you really do? He knows our father is dead. That I run the family business. That some people don't like us. But he doesn't know details. He won't until he's older. If ever. He loves you. Talks about you in class sometimes. How you help with homework. How you take him to museums." Suhu smiled, genuinely smiled for the first time since Teresa met him. "He's the only good thing in my life. The only person who looks at me and doesn't see a crime lord. Just his brother. I don't see a crime lord either." He turned to look at her. "What do you see?" "Someone trying his best in impossible circumstances. Someone protecting people he cares about. Someone who values honesty. Because he's surrounded by lies. That's generous. That's what I see." They stood in silence, something shifting between them, something neither was ready to name. "Victor won't stop," Siuhu said finally. "He's patient. Strategic. He'll wait until we lower our guard, then strike. You can't live like this indefinitely." "So what do? "We end it. Permanently." The cold finality in his voice made Teresa shiver. "What does that mean?" "It means I'll handle Victor. You focus on going back to your life. Teaching. Minjun. Normal things. And you risk your life so I can be normal?" "I risk my life anyway. This time, it's for something worthwhile." After 2 weeks, Teresa returned to school. Minjun tackled her with a hug the moment she walked into class. "Miss Carlos, you're back. I missed you." "I missed you too, sweetheart. My brother said you were sick. Are you better now?" Teresa met Siuhu's eyes across the classroom. He'd come to drop off Minjun, something he never did before. Checking on her. Making sure she was safe. "I'm much better. Thank you for asking. Director Kim pulled her aside at lunch. Miss Carlos, about the security personnel in the parking lot. I'm sorry about that. No, they've been very professional. I just wanted to ensure everything is okay. It's a precautionary measure. It won't be permanent. Does this have anything to do with the Kang family? Teresa froze. I'm not sure what you mean. Miss Carlos, I've been a school administrator for 20 years. I know who Soo-Hoo Kang is, what his family does, and I know Min Jun's well-being is your only concern. But I need to be sure this school isn't being pulled into something dangerous. It isn't, I promise. Good, because those children are my responsibility, and I will protect them. I understand, so will I. That evening, Soo-Hoo appeared at Teresa's apartment back to her own place, with security stationed discreetly outside. Did Director Kim speak with you? He asked. Yes, he's protective of the school. As he should be. I've ensured our situation won't affect the children. How? Victor knows attacking a school crosses lines even criminals respect. It would turn every organization in Seoul against him. He won't risk it, but he'll still come after me. Yes, which is why we need to talk. Soo-Hoo set a folder on her table. Inside photos, documents, surveillance reports. This is everything we know about Victor's operation, his routines, his weaknesses, his plans. I'm moving against him in 3 days. After that, you'll be safe. Moving against him how? I'd rather not give you details that could implicate you. You mean you're going to kill him? Silence. Teresa, this is what I do, what my world requires. I won't apologize for protecting you. I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm asking you not to die doing it. Something flickered in his expression. You care if I die? Of course I care. Min Jun loves you, and you've been kind to me, protected me. I don't want you hurt because of my stupid note. It wasn't stupid. It was honest. And honesty is never stupid. Their eyes held for a beat too long. The school is having a fall festival in 5 days, Teresa said, looking away. Min Jun's excited. He wants you to come. I'll be there, if I can. Promise me you'll be careful. Whatever you're planning. I promise to try. Okay, real talk. Who else is stressed about this fall festival? Like we know something's going to go wrong, but we're all going to watch anyway because we're invested now. Hit that like button if you're nervous for Teresa, and subscribe because the next chapter is intense. 2 days before the festival, Jun-Ho arrived at Teresa's apartment at midnight. Get dressed, quickly. What's wrong? Intel suggests Victor is planning something at the school event. Soo-Hoo needs you at the office. Now. 20 minutes later, Teresa sat in Soo-Hoo's war room because that's what it was. A literal war room with maps, photos, surveillance screens. Soo-Hoo looked exhausted. Victor knows about the festival. He's planning to move during the chaos. We're not sure who the target is, you, Min Jun, or both, but he will strike. Cancel it. Cancel the festival. I suggested that. Director Kim refused. Says we can't let fear control the children's lives. He's right. But it puts everyone at risk. Yes. Soo-Hoo pulled up a school map. Here's the problem. 200 people. Multiple entry points. Kids, parents, teachers. Creating a secure perimeter is nearly impossible without military presence, which we can't justify. Teresa studied the map. Years of fire drills and emergency training kicked in. The gymnasium. That's where the main event happens. If Victor wants to cause maximum chaos, that's where he'll hit. Agreed. I'll have men stationed there. Not inside. Parents will notice strange men at a children's event. But here, she pointed, the backstage entrance, the equipment closet, the side exit to the playground, those are blind spots. Soo-Hoo looked at her with new respect. You've thought about this. I'm a teacher. I think about emergency situations constantly. It's part of the job. What else? The parking lot. If someone wants to grab a kid, they'll do it when families are leaving. Spread out. Distracted. That's when they're most vulnerable. You'd make a good strategist. I'd make a better teacher without mafia bosses trying to kidnap my students. Fair point. They work through the night. planning security that was invisible but comprehensive. Teresa felt strange helping a crime lord plan counter-operations, but if it kept the children safe, she'd do anything. "I'm sorry," Suhu said as dawn broke. "This shouldn't be your problem. Minjun is my student. That makes it my problem." Teresa looked at him. "But after this, after Victor's dealt with, I want out. Completely. No more danger. No more looking over my shoulder. I want my quiet, boring life back." Something painful flashed across his face. "Of course, that's fair. But," she hesitated, "I'd like Minjun to stay in my class, if that's okay. He's a good kid. I don't want him punished for his brother's world." "He won't be, I promise." The festival was beautiful, colorful booths, children's laughter, parents chatting, games and prizes and autumn decorations everywhere. Teresa moved through it with a smile painted on her face and terror in her gut. She saw Siu-Hu's men, civilians in casual clothes, positioned exactly where they'd planned. Jun-Ho by the parking lot. Two others near the gymnasium. Su-Hu himself watching from the main entrance, looking like any other parent. Minjun ran to Teresa the moment he saw her. "Miss Carlos, come see my project. I drew a picture of you." It was the sweetest thing, a crayon drawing of Teresa with her class, hearts and smiley faces everywhere. "This is beautiful, Minjun. Can I keep it?" "Yes, it's for you." She was pinning it to the bulletin board when she heard a sound that didn't belong. Metal scraping. A door opening that should be locked. The backstage entrance. Teresa turned. Saw movement in the shadows. Saw a man who definitely wasn't a parent or teacher heading toward the gymnasium where 50 kids were gathered. No time to alert Suhu. No time for anything but action. Question: what would you do if you saw a suspicious person heading toward a room full of children? Run? Fight? Find help? Comment your answer. And if you're on the edge of your seat right now, smash that subscribe button because this next part is wild. Teresa did what any teacher would do. She got between the threat and her students. "Excuse me." She approached the man, voice steady despite her hammering heart. "Parents aren't allowed backstage. Can I help you find someone?" The man turned. Russian. Scar across his jaw. Eyes cold. "Move." "I'm sorry, but this area is restricted." He shoved her aside hard. Teresa hit the wall. Breath knocked out. But she grabbed her radio. Code red, gymnasium, backstage. Then hell broke loose. More men appeared. 4, 5. Moving toward the gym. Teresa saw their intent. Grab kids. Cause chaos. Escape in the confusion. The gymnasium doors burst open. Siu-Hu appeared, gun drawn, face a mask of controlled fury. "Get the children out," he shouted at Teresa. Teresa ran into the gym. "Everyone, emergency drill. Follow me. Now." She herded 50 terrified kids toward the side exit she'd identified, away from the main chaos. Other teachers helped Hana, grabbing children, Director Kim directing traffic. Behind them, gunfire. Screaming, chaos. Teresa pushed the last child through the exit, turned back, and saw Minjun frozen in the middle of the gym, terrified, alone. Minjun. The boy had been in the bathroom. Emerged into a nightmare. Russians closing in. Teresa didn't think. She ran back, grabbed him, covered his body with hers. A gunshot. Pain exploded in her shoulder. She'd been hit, but she didn't let go of Minjun. She dragged him toward the exit, adrenaline overpowering pain, moving through sheer will. Jun-Ho appeared, provided cover fire, got them out. The last thing Teresa saw before the world went gray was Suhu's face, pure terror and rage as he caught her falling body. Teresa woke in a private hospital room. Everything hurt. Her shoulder was bandaged. IV in her arm. Monitors beeping. "You're awake." Suhu sat beside her bed, looking like he'd aged a decade in a day. "Minjun?" Teresa's voice was hoarse. "Safe. Unharmed. Thanks to you. The other children? All safe. 3 injured adults including you. Victor's men are either dead or in custody. The threat is over." Teresa closed her eyes. "Good. You took a bullet for my brother. I'm a teacher. That's literally in the job description. The job description doesn't include throwing yourself in front of gunfire. It does when the child is yours to protect. Soo-hoo was quiet for a long moment. I'm sorry. For all of this. You should never have been in danger. Did you handle Victor? Yes. Teresa didn't ask for details, didn't want them. So, it's over? Completely. Then I want that quiet life now, please. Of course. He stood. I'll arrange for your care and recovery. Anything you need. I need you to stop blaming yourself. I made choices. I left that note. I stayed involved with Min-jun. I knew the risks by the end. This isn't all your fault. You're being generous again. I'm being honest. That's kind of my thing, remember? Teresa recovered at Soo-hoo's penthouse doctor's orders. With his resources and security, Min-jun visited daily, bringing drawings and hugs. You're my hero, Miss Carlos. My brother says you saved my life. We saved each other's lives, sweetie. Soo-hoo remained distant but attentive. Made sure she had everything. Never stayed long. Never said much beyond checking on her healing. It drove Teresa crazy. Why won't he talk to me? She asked Junho one afternoon. Because he cares about you, and that terrifies him. Why? Because everyone he's ever cared about either dies or gets hurt. His mother, his father, nearly you, nearly Min-jun. In his mind, caring about people is a weakness his enemies exploit. That's a lonely way to live. It is, but it's kept him alive this long. 2 weeks after the shooting, Teresa was cleared to go home. Soo-hoo drove her himself, no staff, no guards. Just them in his everyday car. Your apartment's been cleaned and secured, he said. New locks. Security system. My men will check on you periodically, but they'll be discreet. Thank you. Teresa. He stopped at a red light. I need to say something. Her heart raced. Okay. You changed my life. That note. Your honesty. The way you care about Min-jun. The way you risked everything to save him. You reminded me that good people exist, that honor and integrity matter, that he gripped the steering wheel tighter, that I'm capable of feeling something other than anger and control. Soo-hoo, I care about you, more than I should, more than is safe for either of us. And I need you to know, if you want distance, I'll give it. If you want me to stay away, I will. But if there's any part of you that wants, Teresa leaned over and kissed him. It was impulsive and probably stupid and definitely complicated. But she'd been shot for his brother and pulled into a mafia war and nearly died. Careful was clearly not her strong suit anymore. When they broke apart, Soo-hoo looked stunned. That was unexpected. Life's short. People shoot at me now. Careful seems overrated. Teresa, I'm dangerous. My world is dangerous. I know, I've noticed. And I'm still here. Why? Because you're not just a crime lord. You're a brother who takes his kid to museums. You're someone who values honesty so much that a simple note made you cry. She touched his face. You're someone worth taking a risk for. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But I'm here anyway. They sat in the car, both processing what this meant. I can't promise safety, Soo-hoo said. I can't promise normal. I can't promise my world won't touch yours again. I'm not asking for promises. I'm asking for honesty. About what you feel, what you want, where this could go. I want you, completely, terrifyingly, in ways that make me forget I'm supposed to be a cold, calculating criminal. Good, because I want you too, even though you're infuriating and dangerous and absolutely terrible at communication. He laughed, genuinely laughed. This is insane. Yep, but so is everything else that's happened since I left that note. They kissed again, longer this time, full of promise and possibility, and the fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, two people from opposite worlds could build something real. 6 months later, Teresa's life had found a new balance. She taught. She loved her students. She graded papers and planned lessons and did all the normal teacher things. But now she also had standing Tuesday dinners with Soo-hoo and Min-jun, weekend museum trips, late-night conversations about everything and nothing. Slow, careful relationship building with a man learning how to be vulnerable. They kept it private. Not secret, Min-jun knew. Hana knew. Junho knew, but not publicized. Teresa didn't need the attention that came with dating Seoul's most notorious crime boss. Soo-hoo had started transitioning his organization toward more legitimate operations. "You make me want to be better," he'd admitted one night. "Not perfect. I'll never be that. But better than I was. That's all anyone can ask." On Teresa's birthday, Soo-hoo picked her up for dinner. "Where are we going?" "You'll see." He drove to his private garage, the one housing the vintage Ferrari collection, including the 1962 GTO Teresa had scratched. "I wanted to show you something," he said, leading her to the car. The driver's side door panel had been replaced perfect, pristine, looking factory new. "It's beautiful," Teresa said. "You can't even tell it was damaged." Actually, Soo-hoo opened a wall case. Inside, mounted like art, was the original scratch panel. "I kept it." "Why?" "Because this scratch changed my life. This small mistake brought you into my world. Gave me Min-jun's teacher. Showed me what honesty looks like. This scar is the best thing that ever happened to me." Teresa felt tears forming. "You kept my mistake?" "I kept the moment our lives collided. The moment a shy teacher left a note when she could have left nothing. The moment I learned that some people are worth protecting, worth changing for, worth risking everything for." "I love you," Teresa blurted out. First time either of them had said it. Soo-hoo smiled, that genuine, rare smile he reserved for people he truly cared about. "I love you too, even though you're clumsy with cars and dangerously honest and absolutely terrible at staying out of trouble." "So what happens now?" "Now, we keep building, slowly, carefully. You teach. I reform my organization. Min-jun thrives. We take things one day at a time." "That sounds nice." "It sounds normal. I'm learning to appreciate normal." They stood in that garage, surrounded by millions of dollars in vintage cars, staring at a scratched door panel mounted like a treasure. Because sometimes the most valuable things in life come from our biggest mistakes. Sometimes honesty in a dishonest world changes everything. And sometimes a simple note saying, "I'm sorry," is the beginning of the most beautiful, dangerous, unexpected love story you never saw coming. 1 year later, Teresa stood at the front of her classroom, reading to her students. Min-jun sat in the front row, confident now, happy, thriving under the care of his brother and the love of his teacher who'd become so much more. After class, Soo-hoo appeared to pick up his brother. He did this sometimes, now showed up, chatted with Teresa briefly, maintained appropriate boundaries in professional spaces. But his eyes always held promises for later, for dinners and conversations and the life they were building together. "Miss Carlos," one of her students asked as they left, "is that man your boyfriend?" Teresa smiled. "That's a very personal question." "Sweetheart. He looks at you like my dad looks at my mom. Like you're special." "Maybe I am. To him. Are you gonna marry him?" "I don't know. We're taking things slow." "But you love him?" Teresa watched Soo-hoo leave with Min-jun, watched them laugh about something, watched the crime lord who'd learned to be gentle because a teacher showed him kindness. "Yes," she admitted. "I love him. Very much." "Then you should marry him. That's what people do when they love each other. Someday, maybe. When the time is right." And maybe someday she would. Maybe this dangerous, impossible, beautiful relationship would lead to something permanent. But for now, she had enough. Her students, her work, her quiet, mostly normal life, and a man who'd kept a scratched car panel because it reminded him of the moment everything changed. Some mistakes, Teresa had learned, weren't mistakes at all. They were destiny wearing a disguise. So that's how Teresa Carlos's worst mistake became her greatest gift. She scratched a $6 million car and left an apology note, not knowing the owner was a Korean mafia boss who valued honesty so much that one act of integrity would change both their lives forever. She was pulled into a world of danger, survived a kidnapping attempt and a shooting, saved 50 children, and the man who'd become her whole world, all because she did the right thing when no one was watching. This story proves that honesty matters, that kindness in dark places changes everything, that the most dangerous mistakes sometimes lead to the most beautiful outcomes, and that love real, terrifying, complicated love is worth every risk. What would you have done if you scratched a $6 million car? Left a note? Driven away? Faked your death and moved to another country? Let me know in the comments. And if you love this story about honesty, danger, forbidden romance, and a shy teacher who accidentally fell in love with Seoul's most dangerous man, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because I have more incredible stories coming your way. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes doing the right thing leads you exactly where you need to be, even if that place is terrifying.